absolutely fantastic speech. We now turn to any questions, so if anyone has any questions, please do ask them. Put your hand up, so.
I know that recently on the BBC, amongst other things, there have been some kind of more alarmist articles that Northern Ireland maybe is moving in a direction away from peace again, particularly after several events over the past year. I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on how we can keep progressing forward towards peace there, or if anything needs to be done immediately to stem kind of that trend.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, what's happened this year. I think a lot of us thought that the danger of not moving the political process forward quick enough was that some of the people who were formally involved in the troubles might go back again. Now there's maybe a small group of what we call the godfathers or armchair generals who don't do much fighting themselves but put bitterness and hate into people, that they're still there. But the two big atrocities this year were a police officer who's, you might have seen his widow on television. She was an incredibly good woman and was able to put it so well and to take the death of her husband and try to question people what the hell were they at. The person who shot her husband was 17 years of age. He was hardly born in '94 when I started the negotiations on the peace process, and certainly wasn't, you know, any involvement in the issues. And then the two brave guys who drove up and shot two soldiers who were collecting their pizzas on a Saturday night unarmed before they went to Afghanistan. Dublin, they came out to the gate to collect their pizzas, and these two bastards drove up to the gate and just shot them cold-blooded. They were only 19 and 20. It's not really the old guard, and you'd wonder what motivates them, just a few poison people putting them into it. The good thing is that, unlike the past, the people of Northern Ireland came together, of all religions, protested against these, and they've actually, I have to be careful in my words, they're pending cases. So hopefully there will be successful convictions. That tended not to happen in Northern Ireland. Well, there is a small hardcore. Saying to Emma and Thomas earlier on tonight, you'd like to say they're getting over, but as we know after Roma and other atrocities in the north, they only have to get lucky once from their perspective, and we're all unlucky for a long time. That is the danger, that as long as there's a group there. I don't think the group is very big, but an intent, they're as bad-minded as you can dream of. That's the danger. I don't think anything will do will change them, to be honest. They're hell-bent on trouble. Some of them might be ideologically driven. Most of them would be driven because the bandit world is a good pair rather than ideological. I'm not saying some of them aren't, but I don't think many of them are. What we have to do is make sure we have no more stalls. That's why I emphasised earlier on that if you stall in things, and there's a number of important things that have to be done at the moment, I won't go into them, but you know, 3 or 4 things that need to be done, and a few of them before Christmas. If that happens, I think the momentum stays with the good people. The bad people won't go away, but I think they're marginal. I do expect that they will continue to try and test us. But there's huge cooperation now with the security forces on both sides of the border. Very good cooperation with politically, and very good cooperation at all levels. So I'd love to say there will be no more problems, but I think they're at least minimised.
Yes, there are a few elements within both Northern and Southern Ireland, especially the Sinn Féin, that argues for the notion of a unified Ireland, which would basically mean the UK ceding Northern Ireland to the Republic of Ireland. Do you think that this idea would be desirable or probable?
Well, the political party I'm a member of, Fianna Fáil, the Republican Party, our number one aim since the day we were founded in 1926, and still is the number one aim today, is the unification of Ireland. We changed that line about 10 years ago to the unification by peaceful means, and the Good Friday Agreement sorted the constitutional issue of Northern Ireland out. There's no longer a threat to the constitutional position of Northern Ireland. It is now that the people of Northern Ireland, by a freely held vote, can decide from time to time their future. So it's not the people of the whole island. So the people of Northern Ireland, if the people of Northern Ireland ever voted for a united Ireland, then that can happen. And the British government in the Downing Street Declaration of 1993 have stated they would not stand in the way to that. My own view is that's for another day. Of course I would love to see the country unified, but I think it is far better that, as I said, the Good Friday Agreement was negotiated in 1998, signed by Tony Blair and I in 1998, registered with the United Nations in 1998 with Kofi Annan, but wasn't fully implemented to 2007. I'd like to see it settle down and operate for a number of years before anyone starts testing the next piece. And I don't disagree with Gerry Adams saying that it would be a good way ultimately. Where he and I would disagree. He'd like to try and test it tomorrow. I wouldn't. I think it's better off leaving. It would just be a divisive vote. It would create problems. So somewhere in the dim and distant future, but it's no good. Don't ask me how long that is, because it's only circumstances will prove that. But it's not now, and it's not next year, and it's not the year after. It's into the future.